the Pramana supporting the power of length dimension. The Shastra Pramana, the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. Apta Pramana, the experience and the results of the Aptas. The authority of Hinduism. The Aptas are millions of rishis, munis, ganas, nainamas, alvars, siddhas, yoginis, yogis, all of them manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation. Bhagavan's play the very own Leela, how to show how the cognitive shift can manifest as the reality, the conscious sovereignty, the superconscious space as the reality. Shakshi Pramana, the millions of disciple, devotees, followers all around the world initiated by Bhagavan into the science of power manifestation. Whoever comes to the Kailash courtyard, Bhagavan himself blesses and makes him manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Beautifully, the great science also not just shows us the thoughtless space, also each of the powers are authentically scientifically verified. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. The Shastra Pramana are the eternal truth, unchangeable eternal truth. This is from Shiva Sutra for the power of length dimension. Shakti Sandhane Sariro Patihi. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, uniting in oneness with the supreme power, the embodiment of that which is cognized and willed, manifest at once length, breadth, depth, time and space, the dimensions that we can understand. Beautifully how Bhagavan explains that cosmos is a feedback system. Whatever you understand, whatever you cherish, that becomes more and more reality in you. And if we are constantly with the materialistic world, the outside world, the actions which are happening continuously, we get tired and bored and finally disease and death. But when we start getting worn out, the mind owns out of all that which is happening in the outer world and start looking in as a seer, you start recognizing who you are as the ultimate reality. And that is saying so beautifully by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti. The more you start living as the first person, more you are interested how the seer experiences the five senses. You get merged into the Paramashiva space, uniting in the oneness with the supreme power, not understanding that you are the identity who prays to the Lord, but you are the very source of the whole consciousness. Understanding the whole science, how you are the ultimate, you are Paramashiva, is the whole science of our manifestation. How you have the whole degree, that lawyer degree, or you have the doctor degree that you get within 4 to 5 years after your studies of 12 to 20 years. Like that, how we can understand the Paramashiva, who we are, not the identities that we got from the outer world, but the original identity, who we are. If you have a headache, you want to get rid of it because the very nature of the head is not to have the headache. Same way, if you are Paramashiva, the very space is what you are. So whatever the outer identity, you want to get rid of that. That is why you go to sleep. All the identity just merge and you go to the deep sleep. And everybody every day enjoys the most beautiful space is the deep sleep, because that is the original space. The going into deep sleep with awareness is Paramashiva space. How you can command over reality and be in the oneness forever when you experience even a glimpse of it. That is what it says. The embodiment of that which is cognized and willed will manifest all the dimension. For example, ant does not have any length, breadth, depth. And when ant sees something, it sees only as length and breadth. Maximum, the limit of what length is, and maximum to the extent of the breadth. But when you pile something on top of, suppose you take a paper, the ant sees a paper, it can see it. But when you pile it on top of something, it cannot perceive the depth dimension because it does not have the depth dimension. So you who can see the depth dimension, you are just piling it. But the higher dimensions, how it exists, because the ant does not have the dimension, it's saying it is disappearing. Same way, when we are into the higher dimension, we think it is disappearing, but actually understanding the higher dimension from who you are, you can manifest all the reality in the materialistic world also. Understanding that you are Sarvanyatva, you are all knowing, you are self effulgent, you are all powerful. When you know the higher dimensions that you are, you can manifest your reality as it is. Even a glimpse of it, you're shifting your perception in the world, how you're suffering and all that you're going through, earning for something, praying for something, all that shifts into your powerful cognition that you are the creator of the reality. Especially when Bhagavan ready to receive it, you manifest as power. Beautifully, they say how the mirroring works when you are in the space of oneness, like how you're a child. As 2 years and 3 years, you see your parents walking, you are able to mirror it completely because you are ready to take any number of hours to make it happen. Same way, when we are mirroring the quantum space, when we are ready to look at the seer who you are, we are ready to copy that whole quantum space into us, experiencing the Paramashiva space, waking up as Paramashiva. But when we are engaged in the desire, greed, lust, cunningness, frustration, anger, outer world, whatever you call it, we are missing out the mirroring neurons and we are not able to mirror to the higher reality. Beautifully, now science is catching up and explaining how a pendulum, when it is kept beyond, away from the ground, it is asynchronous, and when it is kept on the ground, because of the outer world impact on the pendulum, it goes out of sync. These experiments tell us how the outer world, when it starts acting on us, we forget who we are. And when we are ready to drop that, how we go to deep sleep, even now we can drop that and experience the oneness with Paramashiva and understand that we are Paramashiva, waking up as Paramashiva. You start understanding you are Paramashiva, who the creator of everything. And Paramashiva just downloads in you whatever you want as reality. You recognizing Paramashiva in you is the highest and most auspicious space to receive the prasada. Whatever Bhagavan gives the boon, when we are like a camphor, we can immediately catch it and it becomes reality. But if we are like a banana stem, it takes for ages for us to even grasp why things don't happen. Even if I get a boon, even I am blessed with Mahadeva coming as my own guru, that is because we have to create the receiving space for how we can perceive the whole reality, what is given as a blessing. Now Bhagavan is beautifully giving us the Apta Pramana. How Vishwamitra, he was an ordinary king, but once he saw Vashishta, he also started doing the penance in Valmiki Raman, Sarga 65. Valmiki Ramayan, Sarga 65, it is clearly mentioned, sage Vishwamitra does severe penance to please Lord Brahma. Then Lord Brahma comes and he asks the boon for knowing all the Vedas, all the knowledge in just one boon. And he is blessed. And because of the penance and such great space that he was holding, Brahma could download all the Vedas in him and also initiated the Gayatri mantra into him so that the world can beautifully experience the greatest knowledge on planet Earth just by chanting the Mahavakya, the Gayatri mantra. Bhagavan has given each of us, when doing the Guru Puja, 11 times when we chant the Gayatri mantra as created by Bhagavan, simply we start experiencing the Sarvanyatva as our reality. All this great science might look very small, but all this collectively starts manifesting in us as greater reality. Bhagavan explains the length, breadth, depth, dimensions in Atma Pramana.
Does not fit in, but there is certain logic flows into it. I'll give you an example. canvas, paint, and the other is painting. But it is not that all paintings are going to be same. For example, same amount of canvas, same amount of painting, same amount of paint and canvas, give it to 10 different painters, the 10 different paintings are going to come. So, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is not same 3 in all the 10, but there is certain level of freedom only is available. For example, if you give the same amount of canvas and painting, he is not going to produce 10,000 paintings. In the painting, there will be differences, but 10,000 paintings will not be produced. So, which does not fall under the clear logic, where there is certain personal freedom and involvement of the life. Listen carefully. It is not only human life. Any life, if it involves with logic, and the life's involvement impacts the logic, that dimension is called breath. No involvement of life, matter functions with a dead law is length. Involvement of the life alters the result of the matter only to a certain level, not completely, is called breath. And independent of length and breadth, spirit alone can play anything it wants is called depth. I don't know whether... Did you guys get it? Shall I repeat? Listen. Matter forming materialistic conclusions is length. Spirit crisscrossing the matter, influencing, changing the result only to certain level is breadth. Pendant of matter, playing and doing its own dance and can create anything from 0 to infinity is depth. In depth, spirit matters. In length, spirit does not matter. Only matter matters. In breadth, spirit and matter both matters. In depth, only spirit matters. No matter matters. Listen, this is what is dimensions of universe. Basic unit dimensions.
Beautiful. We saw the dimension. Beautifully, Bhagavan explained what is length dimension. Length dimension is just the matter. When you get bored and tired of just the matter, you overflow and bring life into the dimension. It starts becoming breath. The life that you bring in, the consciousness, it becomes length and breath. But when you are completely soaked in the Paramashiva space as depth dimension, it opens up to the new reality into the space dimension. Bhagavan says when the length, breadth, depth collides with space, the dust is called the time dimension. And when you start understanding that when you are overflowing with the deep gratitude and love of the cognition of Paramashiva, who you are, the bhava that you hold, simply can go beyond the time dimension, experience the space dimension where you manifest all the reality. Here in the Kailash courtyard, all the research scientists and all the Nithyananda participants experienced with the Balasans how they cracked the Mensa questions. Not only the questions, they gave the answer. They even gave the question what they would be asking, and they would tell, if you tell the page number, they would tell both the question and answer. Just through the third eye, they were able to download any amount of information was clearly performed by the Balasans in the courtyard in Bhagavan's physical presence. Now the Nithyananda home participants are sharing the experience.
About a year ago, and the last few days when we were doing the Shaktinipada with the Balasans and seeing them manifest these powers, what Shaktinipada was feeling is literally the logic is like a poor man's way of functioning. And how Swamiji, how this place is literally the source of everything. Actually, yesterday and the day before, how casually we were manifesting the powers. Like literally, if it was in the outside world, we'll be like, we didn't even feel that it was such a big thing. But only today when we're walking here and talking about it, we're like, oh my God, literally the whole knowledge, they are just getting it and like nothing. So literally for anyone, like if you want to get like 10 degrees, 20 degrees, whatever names you want, I think you should just come to the ashram, just think which ones you want and stay here for a few months and just come back and go and pass all those tests and go back with 10 degrees, 20 degrees.
Prataksha Pramana, scientific studies.
Beautifully, the participants shared how we can experience each one of us becoming Sarvanyatva, downloading any dimension, whether you want to know about the marine biology or financial or about the political or about cooking, whatever you want. Simply, if you can download, how amazing the life would be. Each one is Sarvanyatva. All the avatars, you can see Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Rama Maharshi, Mahapariva, Baba, everybody were Egasandagragi, just like Swamiji, were able to download all this great science just like that at the fingertip or just learning in one go. And it is said that they can learn up to even 20-30 languages just like that. All that is possible when we are living more and more consciously. The blessing has been given by Bhagavan, but we have to receive it and experience the oneness is by manifestation. Beautifully, you can now download a poetry or prose or story or slokas, Akashic reading, whatever, but do it with the correct keywords which you can map to the Google and write down whatever you see as the reality. The whole science is you are not the player of the whole thing. You drop the identity and let cosmos manifest through you. How can we let the cosmos manifest through you? While in the dream, you don't plan a dream, you don't think of a dream, you don't do anything. You are in the deep sleep. Then you go to the whatever is projected to you, you experience everything. Same way, when we fall into the deep samadhi space, typically it happens the exact way, beyond your planning, your decision, your idea of understanding what is power manifestation. It just downloads in you as reality. All the great Nayanamars have sung so much on Lord Shiva is because the whole sciences they could just download. Many asked Ramana Maharshi, can't singing lead to the enlightenment? Bhagavan beautifully said that after they experience the enlightenment, they sing. It is not, they sing to the enlightenment space. First, you have to recognize who you are. That downloads all this greater science. Now, going more and more towards how our sensory, all the sensory inputs are experienced by us. Go look at more at the seer, how you're experiencing oneness with Paramashiva. More and more recognizing, waking up as Paramashiva, manifest as powers. If I recognize Paramashiva in me, will everything run in my life? Absolutely. Bhagavan says the whole cosmos functions in the dharmic way, where more you reside in Paramashiva, more things manifest exactly what you want, how you want, in the way you want, and much more precisely. Now sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. For a few minutes meditation collectively all over the world, creating such global consciousness, conscious sovereignty and collective integrity, collective consciousness, such a powerful space that Bhagavan has created. Let's have only Sundareshwara as our visualization or verbalization. Merge into him, unclutch from everything. How in the night you're ready to drop any problem and go to sleep. Just like that, drop everything at Bhagavan's lotus feet and be in only oneness. How you experience Sundareshwara, how you recognize Sundareshwara inside you, how Sundareshwara, manifest as your Bhava. Sit with 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands, alive and in the deep listening and entangling with Bhagavan in the quantum space. When you are mirroring Bhagavan in the quantum space by chanting the Mahavakya deeply from your navel center, not loudly, but deeply from your navel center, and listening to that chanting, you merge into the beautiful space in deep gratitude and love to Paramashiva. Whatever gets downloaded, just make a note, and at the end of the cycle, we will verify with Google or your partner. So let's sit down for a few minutes of meditation with a complete completion, complete unclutching from whatever you know as you. Absolutely put away your gadgets, put away all your thoughts, and be only with Paramashiva. That experiencing Paramashiva as yourself, experiencing the oneness, how you are Paramashiva, sitting as Paramashiva, experiencing as Paramashiva. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely.
Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's spirit manifest in all our thirds. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all of us. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's spirit manifest in all our thirds. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all of us. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's spirit manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's spirit manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all of us. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. Whatever you have experienced, please go ahead and verify the detail Authentically verify whatever prasada you received. All this again and again, Bhagavan gives us guidelines for us to follow just to make us understand that all the logic in the world that we are thinking, planning, deciding is of no use. Only Paramashiva manifesting as our reality is the ultimate kalpatru. When we understand the ultimate kalpatru, simply we will not be in the struggling space, but we will start manifesting the higher reality. So all the power manifestation pokes hole when you get it correct beyond your logic, just that you don't know anything about the topic and you are able to download on the topic, shows very clearly that Paramashiva in you is manifesting as your reality. When Paramashiva literally starts manifesting your life, how Arjuna, he chose Krishna and Duryodhana chose the whole Sena. But when Arjuna said clearly, when Krishna is holding all the railings and he recognized him as the ultimate success, he was able to manifest even the Mahabharata war, win all that as successful. Arjuna has never lost a war because he was always as the space of Narayana. He was one with Krishna to manifest the reality. When you understand that you are one with Paramashiva and able to physically experience the reality, even in the small ways, you will understand that you can manifest anything you want in the outer world. Just by going into the space, we can manifest all that is there in the reality. When somebody asks Bhagavan, how do you download books? He says, I humbly surrender my identity and just humbly ask the book author to reveal himself with all that he has written. And simply I download everything. It takes only few seconds or nanoseconds to download all this. Now they are finding out, Elon Musk is finding a chip to do that. But avatars and all this great, the Mahatmas have already won over the science of just downloading without anything that we require from the outer world. All we experience the oneness, we become auspiciousness and abundance, manifesting all the reality. So let's have one more cycle collectively, the collective consciousness. We can experience Sundareshwara Paramashiva in deep gratitude and deep humbleness. Surrender everything. No logic, no idea, planning, decisions, everything. Bhagavan says if you live 3 months without making decision, you will be in the space of Paramashiva, manifesting the auspiciousness. The whole cosmos runs without making any decision. Why should we make any decision? When you're very clear that Paramashiva in you, manifest in you as all the auspiciousness, and simply whatever he downloads, start making a note of it and verify with the detail. You will understand without you knowing something or learning something through your 5 senses, something more than that is there where you can just download and experience the greater part of you, the ultimate part of you. So let's start experiencing oneness with Paramashiva. Chant the Mahavakya intensely, the whole being vibrating with the chanting, and at the deep listening, let's start manifesting the length dimension.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's burden manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Vani open up. Manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all of us. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's spirit manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
beautifully whatever you have experienced in the first cycle and second cycle and darshan, diksha, initiation, blessings, power manifestation, all that, please go ahead and share it in tinyurl.com/power manifestation or in your social media and tag it to your friends and families. Bhagavan beautifully says how you can go beyond the greed when you become integrated, and when you become more and more courageous, dropping the fear, you become more authentic. And when you are beyond the worry, when you take the responsibility and the beautiful space that Bhagavan says, integrity, authenticity, responsibility is what we do, but Bhagavan manifests as consciousness by causing others reality. Extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. We remember all the great Mahatmas, the saints, avatars, only because of power manifestation, not for anything else. We know that they can just manifest anything as their reality. And that is the very science that Bhagavan is making each one of us to become that great avatar ourselves. That beautiful space that we can experience by doing all this foundation courses that Bhagavan is giving us to experience the higher reality. When you cause others to be living as Paramashiva by sharing all this again and again in physical reality, you start getting grounded how you are manifesting over a period of time, and you start understanding so many powerful cognitions and so many things have changed in your life. By noting it down every single day, you start experiencing the higher science, higher reality that you are Paramashiva. And whatever you would like to offer to Kailasha as your donation, go ahead. Whatever, when we offer, simply all the auspiciousness and abundance manifest in our life. All that Bhagavan gives us, the simple signs to manifest powers and simple signs to contribute to the highest reality. Who we are, whatever we vote for, we live that. And thanking all of you here, hundreds of you manifesting the powers of Paramashiva, and deep gratitude to Bhagavan, and surrendering all this powerful cognition and power manifestation to Bhagavan's lotus feet again and again, with a deep yearning Paramashiva to become my existential reality, experiencing, visualizing, and living as Paramashiva. With that deep gratitude, let's end the session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much. See you after the next darshan or satsang in Kailash Courtyard.